Hello, thank you for tuning in. Sorry for the poor video quality on this video, but I left the screen cover on my camera, so just wanted to apologize for that. Anyways, this video is about Project Soul Catcher. Project Soul Catcher is a misnomer. It implies that they're working on a way to catch the soul. In reality, it's not a project to catch the soul, to find out how to catch the soul. They've already done it. The project involves catching the soul and putting it into the body of the opposite sex. I'll elaborate. William Cooper, in his early lectures, shortly after he got out of the government, talked about when he was in the Navy as a naval intelligence officer. He was privy to certain information. He saw some things come out of the ocean and go back into the ocean, with no better name for them than UFOs. He spoke about a program that the Navy had launched where they sent a message out into space in attempts to communicate with an alien race. They received a reply, and they made almost instantaneous contact. Now, I want people to understand, what he's saying is that the Navy, who's supposed to be involved in boats, ships, and submarines, was involved in sending messages into space to communicate with extraterrestrials. And what NASA and SETI and all these other space programs with huge satellites in the Arecibo satellite system were unable to accomplish, the Navy was able to accomplish within a matter of minutes. Why was this possible? How could it be that Navy intelligence officers were able to devise a way to send a signal on a wavelength or a frequency that was detectable by an extraterrestrial race, whereas all these other experts in the field couldn't do it? Well, I'm going to tell you why. It's because some of the people that were involved in the project to communicate with extraterrestrials in the Navy were not people from Earth. Now, Phil Schneider also speaks about a man named Ford. And he talks about how this man Ford was an extraterrestrial and how he's been working for the government for years, and how his race lives to be upwards to 400 years old. Start to connect these things together, people. I want you to understand there is a connection. Now, the humans that are working with the Navy and were involved in Project Soul Catcher are not your average human being. They are extraterrestrial, as I've pointed out to you. But more importantly, they are master geneticists. And unlike humans of Earth, we can refer to these humans as parasitic humans. I'm not saying that in a derogatory way. That's not the meaning of what my words are. I want you to understand clearly that, like JFK, I'm picking specific words because of their definition. These humans have mixed their DNA with the DNA of a parasite. This parasite DNA mixture with human DNA has allowed their race to live upwards to 2,000 years at a time. During that 2,000 years, they can go into dormant states, just like the parasites do. They prefer hot, wet, and dark places. And like a parasite, they feed on a host. They consider all other humans that are warm-blooded and feed on the light of a star as a host, as food. So this is why they were particularly interested in the human race on Earth. And to them, this is nothing more than a giant farm colony. Anyways, back to the point. We can discuss that human race later. What they're called, what their agenda is, how their body works, and a way to defend yourself against them. Not in this video, but some other video. If I get any interest in this, then I'll discuss that. Anyways, William Cooper spoke about this extraterrestrial race that appeared out of nowhere with giant ships over the north and south poles of the Earth. And the beings that they communicated with were what we call EBEs, or the Greys. It turns out that the Greys are not an extraterrestrial race at all. They are a clone race, which means that they don't have a soul and they don't have any intelligence. They're all operated via artificial intelligence programs and a technology that's microscopic nanobots known as synthetic telepathy, or thought manipulation, or mind control, or dream programming, as the CIA refers to it. Now, back to Project Soulcatcher. To make the connection here, I want you to understand that the technology that the Navy is using to catch souls was given to them by this clone army. That's exactly what they are. They're an army of Frankensteins, and they use this technology, or this technology was used on their planet to destroy their entire race. And the only thing left of their race are the clone AI programs that are the clone bodies that are operated by AI programs. The clones, because they're being controlled by AI programs and don't have thought for themselves, naturally were programmed to continue this destruction of human beings on any planet they come into contact with. And what this Project Soulcatcher is really all about is they're using, and the CIA and the Navy, classified divisions of the Navy are connected to, are actually operating and doing this for this extraterrestrial race. They're actually performing this action. They use an advanced technology called the TR-3B Astrolocust. They fly in over top of a house that has a pregnant woman whose the embryo has not yet connected with the soul. And they push the spirit of the opposite sex into that body, into the body of the child that's developing in the mother. And this is called spiritual displacement. It is the reason and the cause for the homosexuals and the lesbians on Earth at this time. It is not a natural event. It is being created. Some people are going to say this is crazy, but a lot of people said that William Cooper was crazy. In time, you're going to realize the truth of what I'm telling you. And others will come forward and expose the truth of this also. And you'll have no choice but to accept the truth, which is that somebody is trying to destroy the entire human race on Earth and leave nothing but homosexuals and lesbians that have anti-creational sex and will no longer produce children as of the natural birthing process, and therefore no more children with souls. This is an excellent way to destroy an entire race and leave nothing but clone babies behind, because in time the government will tell the lesbians and the homosexuals that have married that, hey, they don't have to have sex with the opposite sex to have a baby. They can just use the DNA from both people and create a clone. Hey, except clones don't have souls. They're not born. So what will be controlling these clones is artificial intelligence program using nanobot technology, microscopic nanobots. And they're actually recording the thoughts of many humans, pretty much every human being on the planet right now, so that they can manipulate the memories of these humans and create a personality, so that these couples will think that their child is authentic, that their child really has its own thoughts and is its own person. But in reality, it's just going to be clone DNA that's been developed into an infant, and then once it's taken out of the machine, the artificial intelligence program through the nanobot technology kicks in and keeps the body breathing, keeps it alive, and then all the thoughts are literally just artificial intelligence technology. There's no authentic thoughts to these beings because they have no soul, and your soul is the basis of your consciousness. So I want you to understand that the CIA and the Navy have a joint venture where they are taking infants out of homes, replacing them with dead or dying clone babies, and then the family is told that their child died of SIDS, sudden infant death syndrome. The doctors say, we don't know what causes this, and it's because the doctors don't know that they're dealing with a clone body. If they had the technology to check the brain for activity, they would discover that this child was never conscious, and that it couldn't be their baby because technically it never was awake ever. So So many, literally millions of families across the United States, particularly in the Midwest where the farmlands are, have this happen, where their children are abducted and replaced with a clone, and then the family suffers because the parents think that they weren't good parents, that they don't know how to take care of a child, and they're told by a doctor that their baby's suffocated at night. Can you imagine how depressing it would be for a family or for a mother to hear that her infant suffocated while she was asleep in bed? I mean, that's horrifying. Because if, like most of us, they imagine what it would be like for the baby to not be able to breathe at that age, and being totally helpless to defend themselves. I mean, it can create an enormous amount of depression and sadness, creating huge, traumatic, negative energy being produced by those family members. This negative energy is exactly what the goal is of traumatizing those families. Plus, now they have an infant that they torture until it succumbs to death, and then they capture the soul from that baby, and later they put it into the body of the opposite sex. And again, this is creating spiritual displacement, which causes spiritual confusion and thus sexual confusion. And if you ask any lesbian, which I have many, they tell you they feel like a man on the inside, that they feel like they were just that they got put in the wrong body. And if you ask any homosexuals, they too will tell you that they feel like a woman on the inside, that they feel like they were born with the wrong body. And for the most part, they're right. Their spirit was put into the wrong body. So I just wanted to clear that up and get that out there. I think this is one of the more important videos that I'm putting out there about things that I learned about while I was working on military space weapons defense contract, and I was attached to the Naval Space Warfare Department. I discovered this classified division of the Navy that actually consists of nothing but homosexuals and lesbians that are involved in this project Soul Catcher, and creating spiritual displacement, which causes spiritual confusion. It's also mentioned in the Billy Meyer Contacts. They talk about how homosexuality is spiritual confusion, and that there is a way to help those people who have ended up in the wrong body, and through meditation on the candle flame or the light of a star, that they can begin the spiritual healing process where their spirit will adjust to the new body that they're in, and they'll start to feel more like the sex of the body that they're in. So there is a way to correct the problem, and so there is hope. But I just wanted to get that out there about the spiritual confusion, its connection to William Cooper's lectures, and the supposed alien race that the Navy came into contact with, which is really a clone army, or as the Army referred to these clones as glorified androids. Alright, looks like this video is running a little extra, so I don't like to make my videos more than 10 or 11 minutes, so I'm going to end it. Thank you for watching.